Yo, what's up, everyone? This video we're looking at the 6-game Tuesday slate. So let's get right into it. You can drop a like down below and subscribe if you have not already. Starting off here at point guard, Lebron is your most expensive guy here at 10-9. I mean, if depending on whether I play him or not is going to be dependent on the status of Anthony Davis. If he's out, then play LeBron at 10-9. If he's in, you can still play LeBron, but I don't think it's as much of a lock as much of a great play as it would be if Davis is out. Just given the matchup, it's not a great matchup against Indiana on the road. Both good defensive teams, too. Trae Young, 9-9. Not super interested there. I like Devonta Graham here, 7,800. He's playing 37 minutes, even in blowouts. He played 37 in a 22-point loss against Indiana. In that game, he just shot terribly, 3 of 18. He's had two of his worst basically shooting performances of the season in his last couple games, but he's still been decent just because he is an all-around producer. Even if he has an off night shooting the ball, he can still get it done with assists or bring down a handful of rebounds, some steals. So he's an all-around player playing 37 minutes here. I just like him a lot. The matchup isn't great. I mean, the Kings play slow, but they're at home, and just the minutes that he's going to play and the price tag is down on Graham right now. After a couple of bad games, I want to jump on that. Over at shooting guard, Devin Booker. We'll see if he can play. If not, I mean, then you can make some pivots. But it's a 10:30 tip. We probably won't get that before lock. I'm liking Holiday, Dinwiddie, 7,500. I think are fine plays. For value, I think Rozier's decent at 6,200. But the one guy that I like quite a bit is R.J. Barrett. It's only $4,500. Just a really, really cheap price tag on Barrett. He will probably be the popular play today, just at least in cash games. Just really, really cheap. He's been awful as of late, and basically the whole year he's kind of been bad, but he's still going to play a lot of minutes. He's been playing 36 minutes in competitive games, and this is a spot against the Hawks where there's a good chance this game stays close. I mean, you have two awful teams going at it, so I think this game will be competitive, and you can actually target this game for fantasy. At least, a couple Knicks players whose prices are really cheap. Small forward, we know J.J. Redick is out for this one, so I would expect probably Lonzo or Josh Hart to move into the starting lineup. I would assume it'll be Hart here at 4,700, just because he kind of fits the position more than Ball does. With only 4,700 for Hart, he's been playing 30 minutes. He's played at least 30 minutes in 3 out of 4 games, and that was with Redick in there. And now with Redick out, he should see maybe 32 to 35 minutes. Just a really, really nice value at 4,700 at home. He is a decent player, and the matchup is fine here against Brooklyn. So another value play that you can consider. Power forward, Davis, 10-5. I mean, if he's in, I don't think you need to play him, but that's a pretty decent price, but I don't think I'll get there. I like Brandon Ingram, 8,100. Only played 27 minutes. He had 5 fouls in those minutes, so I don't take too much into that. I think he'll bounce back in the minutes. We'll get back up to like 35 to 37, and without Redick, we'll have more usage and more shot attempts. Randall, 7K, another nice option there in the mid-range. For value, I don't mind Morris here at 6,200. The Knicks basically played 3 guys a ton of minutes in close games. It's Morris, Barrett, and Randall. Those guys are playing 35, 36 minutes in close games. And the matchup here is great against the Hawks. I think all 3 are viable. And then for value, I think Bagley, Prince. I kind of like Cody Zeller here. This will be dependent on if he starts or not. I know he started last game without Washington, but now Marvin Williams expected back. I don't know if they want to keep Marvin Williams on the bench or not, but if you do take out Washington and Batum, it's been Zeller who's seen the biggest bump in usage, and not in usage, in fantasy points per minute. He's up 0.12. He's averaging 1.12 fantasy points per minute without Washington and Batum on the court. So if he draws a start again, I'll be interested at 5,400. He also lost a couple minutes due to the blowout last time out, and he's only 5,400. A nice play. He's always been a good permanent guy. It's always been that since they've been starting Bismack Biyombo, he's only been in like the low 20s in minutes. But now if he can get up to the high 20s or low 30s, then I'll be really interested. But that will definitely be dependent on if he starts or not, probably. And then at center, I think you can look at Vucevic, 7,300, Randall, 7K, maybe some Jared Allen, maybe some Turner is only 5,500. And that's pretty much it. You could go Biyombo if you want. And then if Davis is out, then play McGee or Howard. They will get much more minutes. But right now, I kind of like Vucevic, 7,300. He's had some good games against Gobert in his career. They're going to need his size to defend Gobert. And he's been really good this year. Before he got hurt, he was crushing it. He came back from missing about a month, and he played 29 minutes. So doesn't seem to be on like a hard minute limit or anything. Could get up to 30 plus today. It is a back-to-back as well tomorrow, so we'll see how many minutes they want him to play, but I still think at this price point we're getting like $1,000 to $1,500 discount to where he should be, just given his talent and given where he was before he got hurt. It's another play to consider. And then at guard, I think you can look at Drew Holiday, 7,700, Spencer Dinwiddie, Brogdon. They're appealing. And then for some value, Mike Conley's only 5,500. He's going to be back. Nice price tag on him. He's been awful before he got hurt, but I think maybe that time off will do him some good. And I kind of want to touch on Elfrid Payton just because he is at a nice the price tag is coming up, but he's still viable at this price point. The Knicks have taken Dennis Smith out of the rotation. He hasn't played the last couple games. They've split the point guard minutes. Instead of splitting it between three guys, it's now split between Elfrid Payton and Frank Ntilikina, and that's a pretty big deal. So I think Payton is viable, especially if not that many people go to him. Lonzo Ball might get up to 30-plus minutes here without J.J. Redick, especially if he starts. That'll be a really good option. Don't mind Rondo either at 4,700 for value. And then Bridges will be if Booker can play or not. So that's pretty much what I'm liking here. I think Spencer Dinwiddie in this matchup against the Pelicans is a really good option, especially if LeVert misses again. I mean, if LeVert's in, you could go to somebody else, but LeVert's probably not going to play a ton coming back in his first game back after missing a lot of time. So those are the DK picks as of now. And then on FanDuel, let's see what we can do. It's pretty much similar. Like I said, unless there's a big price discrepancy, I'd like to be on the same players on both sides so I can have good days on both sides, hopefully. But at point guard here, I'm looking at Lonzo, Elfrid Payton, Mike Conley. All three are viable to me. If you want to punt, you could punt with nobody really that looks that appealing. Maybe Rondo at 5K, at least a little bit more expensive. But I kind of like Mike Conley here, 5,500. Just nice price point on Conley. He only missed about 5 games, so he shouldn't be on a minutes limit or anything. He hasn't been good this year, but also you got to take into account his price tag. He was in the 6Ks before he got hurt, and now he's down to 5,500. So don't need much to make value out of a starting point guard at this salary. Shooting guard, I like Devonta Graham's 8,100. Not really that much interested in Barrett. I think he's fine, but I definitely like him on Draftkings a lot more. And then I love Josh Hart, 5K here on FanDuel. And then you could take a chance on the Lakers guys if Davis is out. But Devonta Graham is a guy for me. I expect him to bounce back here against the Kings at home. He has monster upside. Never really high owns, which I like. And I just continue to see solid production out of him, solid, consistent player most of the night. So expect him to bounce back after a couple of rough shooting performances. Small forward, I think Brandon Ingram's a really good option at 8,400. I like Morris at 6,200. There's just a handful of guys that stick out to me right now. It's like Morris, maybe Prince at 61, and then maybe Oubre if Booker's out, and then Brandon Ingram and LeBron if Davis is out. But I like Ingram. He should get back up to his 34 to 35 minutes here. He can get up to 37 minutes. Last time he got 5 fouls in 26 minutes against the Magic. It was also a much tougher matchup there, defended by Isaac, or pretty sure Isaac defended him. But now it's a back at home, great matchup here against the Nets. So at a decent price point, I'll be looking at Brandon Ingram today. And then at power forward, I like Sabonis, Randall, Jared Allen I think's fine at 6,500. And not a ton I like for value here. Maybe Williams, if he starts, could be a nice play at 3,700. But it's going to be Randall. I think he has a good matchup here. Like I said, I'm expecting a close game, and that means you can take advantage of the minutes that Randall plays in competitive games, 36 minutes. He's been pretty disappointing on the year for fantasy, but he can still have those games where he puts up 40, 50 fantasy points, and this is kind of a spot where a really bad defensive team, a team that turns the ball over a lot, and it's a pretty good matchup for him in the paint, defended by Jabari Parker. So we'll have the advantage there, the size advantage, pretty much every time out there, every time up the floor. And then at center, I'm looking at Vucevic, 7,900. Cody Zeller, if he starts, at 5,700. And then probably JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard if Davis is out. Those are the plays for me. And then maybe you could look at Aaron Baines, although he's kind of been in that minutes limit, or just not been playing a ton of minutes. But he's only 4,900. Right now, I expect Zeller to start, so I would have him at 5,700. If you can project him for 30 minutes, then we'll have no problem making value here at 5,700 against the Kings. If they decide to shake things up and start Marvin Williams, then I might probably go up to like Vucevic. But that's what I'm liking as of now on Fanduel and Draftkings. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I actually had to record this twice because the first video had no sound. So hopefully this one has some sound. We'll know when I post it on YouTube. But thanks for watching, and good luck to